So
Angel, we really just ran right into that, didn't we?
yes, that was the first time we ever just played the intro from the beginning. No talking beforehand, just straight into it. We'll see how they react.
One of our improvements that was given to us by you guys.
All right, I must know, how are the gym sessions this week? How's the gym routine?
I'm 1 for 2 this week. And the reason why I missed one out was because it was yesterday when my wife had a baby doctor appointment. So I think that's a good enough excuse not to go to the gym. Yep, one baby at a time. But yeah, so I am 1 for 2 so far. I'm loving my new schedule. I don't know if it's kind of just like this honeymoon phase that I've got with returning to the gym where I'm like, yeah, 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 but I'm liking it. It could also be I'm chalking it up to just the way that like it's been warm outside too. It's made me want to like leave. And I've just got a good little schedule going. So I am 1 for 2 this week.
Yeah, warm weather definitely helps in the morning or just any time. Like going outside, like, oh, this is nice weather. Instead of like it being cold, you have to put on a jacket, take off the jacket, sweat, and then go back into the jacket.
Yeah. I also think that it being lighter outside longer also really helps too because I don't feel like I'm coming home and then it's already dark outside and then I'm like, well, I don't want to leave again. And so that extra amount of daylight helps. What about you? How's your gym? Just jujitsu classes, how's all that going?
One out of three, miss Tuesday and Wednesday. I'm like, oh, definitely make up for it Thursday and Friday. I'll do like CrossFit and Jiu-Jitsu, and then we'll see. I think I'm gonna need to start off like my app that I use starts the week off Sunday, so I put in a workout then, and it counts it as like Sunday's the start of the week. So I need to start doing that. The goal would be like to work out every morning, some sort of workout like run or whatnot. CrossFit 5 times a week, and then morning workout Saturday and Sunday, and then jiu-jitsu 3 times a week. That'd be like the goal, like an A plus week, and hopefully still going towards that. We'll see.
Yeah. I think even if like maybe you have an off day or something like that, even just doing if it's like a cardio thing or maybe just like push-ups or sit-ups or something like that, still get some sort of exercise in. I feel like that'll count for one for you. Or maybe a half, depending on how strict you want to be.
I like how one podcast was like, um, sign up for every day to work out. And like, of course you're gonna have off days. Of course life's gonna happen, and you're gonna cancel a workout. But then like if you have it scheduled, then like you consistently go. I just want to have like that same morning routine at least, because I think that'll make it easy for me to wake up in the morning because I'm struggling with that.
I feel like it truly is though, like exactly like you said, a routine and just like anything because I have gotten again back into reading and so every single night I read a chapter in a book. Your finance books are next on the old chopping block, so I will finally be reading some Dave Ramsey, but it's one of those things that like I picked it up for a while and it became habit, then I stopped doing it and then it became second nature just to not do it anymore. Then I realized, okay, I'm watching too much TV at night. Like I'm spending like 2 hours watching TV. I could be doing something a little bit productive. And so then I picked up a book and I read a chapter. And then it's like, okay, at least you can go to bed thinking I did something productive. But Dave Ramsey is next on my list to read. So. Also, have you? Okay, I'm putting you on the spot. Have you read the books that you've sent?
Not read them. Yes, yes, I've listened to audiobooks for sure. I have not physically read them. Once I found audiobooks, I stopped reading, like physically reading page per page. Audiobooks, oh my goodness. Yeah. And I think I listened to the audiobook of Think and Grow Rich and Outwitting the Devil plus the 5 a.m. one. Those three multiple times. And I probably like at least, yeah, multiple times. I was like at least once a month. I'm like I try to go for more for that just because I really like those books. But then also try to expand to other autobiographies. or like biographies of people. Because they also like that. It's like we think their life is perfect or whatnot, and then find out all the tragedies that they went through, and plus the work ethic. It's just insane.
Yeah. I went to the biography section of the library and I was looking at it just because I went this weekend just to look at books. And I was going through it and I'm like, I feel like I need to do a little bit more research just before I pick out a book based off of whoever is on it or whatnot. Like I know like some famous people and some good biographies, but I'm like, if I pick a biography, I want to know kind of what I'm getting into because knowing my luck, I would pick like I don't know, like the Prince Harry biography, and then it's all about the drama with the crown. I don't care about that. Like I'd rather learn about more somebody's, like you said, their life, their struggles, their accomplishments, things like that, rather than where I'm a millionaire.
I actually listened to the audiobook of Roger Gracie. Um, well, how some people put him the best jiu-jitsu, uh, I I guess jiu-jitsu person in, like he's basically the goat for jiu-jitsu, and his family, the Gracie family, helped put spread jiu-jitsu one through Brazil and made Brazil like Brazilian jiu-jitsu famous in the United States. So like their Gracie academies, their gyms, they might be like the same amount of gyms as like CrossFit gyms. So just like how CrossFit became famous and they have like gyms here and there with their special workouts, I think they also have like Gracie gyms. And I actually looked into Gracie gyms when I went there, like when I was looking through gyms. And so it was interesting to see like his life in Brazil and him coming to America and like spreading the whole Brazilian jiu-jitsu and how he made it. They made it more into a sport type of thing.
Yeah, interesting. That's something that that you like doing. I feel like is when you get a hobby, like you dive into it and like you like to learn all about it, different ins and outs of it. And I mean like that in a positive way. Like you like to really indulge yourself with whatever new activity that you're picking up.
Sometimes some greasy gym goers they have greasy gis on after like open mat and so at the gym I go to. And I like sometimes I thought about like should I ask them like who's your favorite Gracie? And I'm like how do people actually go through like actually knowing the Gracie family and like what impact they had through the whole jiu-jitsu and how like basically spread it to the United States of jiu-jitsu. Oh, I just want to put this out there. Roger Gracie was all for going for like quote unquote the kill or the submission rather than like points. He did not like the point system. He's like, no, it's not true jujitsu.
I will beat you down.
Make you tap out. Ooh, and one of like the biggest tragedies of his life, he lost his son. Oh my goodness. I feel like that's one of like the worst strategies like a human person can take, like burying like your son or daughter, your kid. Ah, and they want to say the book said it was murder. They didn't want to explicitly detail into it, but yeah, like
Jeez.
so that's always interesting.
You know, I hear that all the time. It's like the worst nightmare of a parent is to have to be at the funeral of one of their kids. And I'm like, yeah, I can see that.
I'm curious, like, what would you like list like those like the most painful things? Is that like the top? Like, what else could like top it?
Yeah, what else could top that? Maybe like your significant other. I feel like that would be up there if like you were in a committed relationship and then they passed away somehow. I feel like that would be a ton of pain. I feel like it's all going to be revolved around like loss, like somebody dying or something. Because I feel like
Also curious with the significant other. What is it like an age like if they're like above 50 or so, it's like it's a lot less like painful than like when they're like let's say 30, 35 or so, like less than 40. Or would be that age thing where it's like, it's kind of like old age type of thing. It's okay. It's like,
I feel like if it's your if it's your significant other, like if it's your girlfriend, wife, fiance, I feel like that's gonna hurt no matter what the age is. I feel like the outlook that the public has on it, I would say, I feel like 50s are still too young. I think if like maybe you're in like 60, like mid 60s and up, that's when people probably start looking at like, okay, well, you were getting up there in age, and so the public probably views it a little bit differently. Um, but I think no matter what, if it's again like your person, your significant other, I feel like it doesn't really matter what age it is. It's probably always gonna hurt. I feel like it actually. I'm gonna say that I'm gonna go back. I feel like maybe if it is a little bit younger, because then like it might hurt a little bit more, just because then you have to go through life without them a little bit longer. Where like if you're 70, like it's still gonna be very very painful, but like you might look at it differently. Like okay, well I'll be with them in a few years or something. But I don't know. Yeah. I told Candace I've got dibs on dying first. And so I told her that she can't go and die before me just because I wouldn't know what to do. So she thought I was kidding. Mm-mm. Yeah, seriously. Maybe I should stop going to the gym.
Oh, man.
Yeah, but ever since she got pregnant, I've had to stop making those jokes. So not a lot to say that I'm going to be leaving when she has a kid on, or when we have a kid on the way.
Oh man. I want to see. Oh man, I'm just gonna glad we're gonna be recording you at least every week to see like your mood changes.
No, what you're gonna do is you're gonna see the bags in my eyes just slowly get more and more and more, and then like I'm just gonna have like more monotone in my voice. What I will say though, one of like the unexpected perks of her being pregnant has been because she can't drink, and so I've done the no drinking thing with her to like show that camaraderie type of thing. It's kind of been really nice not drinking. Like the last couple of days have been hard just because it's been beautiful weather, and I'm like, oh, I could really go for a margarita right about now. Um, but besides that, like I feel like I've never slept better. I really haven't had a sleepless night, anything like that. As soon as this baby comes, I told her I'm drinking. But for this time being, like, it's been nice.
Yeah. Like, dude, the older you get, the worse it is. If you drink and you go to sleep.
Yeah, I think when I do start drinking again, it's gonna be only weekends. Like I'm not gonna be doing any like weekday drinking just because during COVID, oh my gosh, like you were not you personally, but like people were able to drink, myself included, pretty consistently just through the week just because you didn't have to really go anywhere. But I told myself and her, I'm like, well, when we do drink again, it's gonna be just Friday night, Saturday nights only type of thing, and maybe once or twice like going out if we're going to like a fancy restaurant or something like that. But we've already talked about. She's like, "What's your first drink gonna be?" And I'm like, "Probably just like a Miller Lite or something like that, just a very basic beer." And she goes, "Oh, mine's gonna be a margarita," and then that's kind of what started us on the margarita kick.
Oh. When I would work out during the week, I'd make sure if I had a drink, it'd be for the weekend. So I did not like want to work out knowing, oh, that drink is gonna affect me the next morning. Like, no. Just like working out and sweating up the alcohol. I'm like, yep, yep. I like how Shanti also, he said he would work out and like go to his classes like hungover, but he was like in his 20s, so it would be just fine. Like the older guy, like it was not the same. I had to stop doing that. I couldn't keep it up.
That was a bad part too. Drinking during the week and then trying to still be fit and go to the gym and stuff just because motivation all out the door at that point. I remember there was a little stretch where like if I would drink at like throughout the day, like let's say it was a weekend or something, and I'm saying a weekend, it was probably like a Tuesday, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna have a couple of beers just because I'm not doing anything else. Like, not working. I'm talking about like off days. And then I'm like, oh, I'm going to go to the gym. Oh, no, you're not. And so whenever that starts, it's like all of that is just, ooh, goodbye.
It's like right after this nap, I'm gonna go to the gym. Nap takes longer than expected.
Yeah. But yeah, that's been one of those random little perks that I didn't expect. But I think in order to get through the sleepless nights, I will have to have some sort of beer or something in my system. And that sounds so bad. That sounds like I'm an alcoholic. I swear that's not true. I'm just looking forward to being able to have a social drink. That is all I'm trying to say.
It's like, when is the acceptable drink? When is it not? Oh, I saw a video of like the family parties. Like the youngins are drinking, taking shots, and then like the second stage of like, we've gotten to my life where like we're drinking one beer and then one water, trying to keep it steady, and then next thing you know, we'll be at the next stage where it's like the grandparents talking about life and not drinking at all. So yeah, it's happening. Except, eh, we don't have too much of like the crazy youngins because I think grandparents were like against the drinking. I think my mom is too. So maybe if my mom sees me drinking, she's like, "Stop it, stop it!" Like to me and my sister, we're like grown. We're like, "Mother, we're gonna be okay." Like, okay. And like she always thinks like I'm becoming an alcoholic. I'm like, "Mother, I do not have the stomach to drink alcohol every day." That's out the window.
Still drinking like I was in college. Sure, we might be having a different conversation right now, but I have changed.
Your body just can't keep up with it the older you get, which I don't understand. Like, I guess they're just immune to it, like alcoholics. Like, how does your yeah, how does like your stomach function? And the guy we had one guy who likes to drink every day. He's like, well, you just get like a shot in the morning and like 2 or 3 shots to like heat you throughout the day, and you're good. It's like a good buzz. I guess that works if like you don't need to take a strong like lot a big dose of like alcohol, but just like 2 3 shots. And you're like, I'm good with that. Okay, you do you, boo.
I like I don't think I'd be able to function still at like the shots level. I can't do shots anymore. But like there are some people that have I feel like drank the same amount in college as they have out of college and like they're perfectly fine because their bodies haven't quit on them. But I feel like you stop doing that for a little bit and then oh, it's gone.
Have you had a drink like on the rocks or like neat before? Just like straight, no.
I've had whiskey a couple of times, but it's definitely an acquired taste. Like because it's so much different than shot. Like if you're just taking it in a glass and you're sipping it like that, like you have to be okay with having that kind of just taste in your mouth, and that's the best way to explain it. It's a kind of just smack you the burn, and then, but that's when you realize what good alcohol is compared to just like normal stuff. Like because the good stuff is smooth and you don't have too much of that shocker, but
Sometimes, yeah. I want to try that, like neat or on the rocks and be like tasting it, and not make a face. I'm like, "Ah, I'm still not at that level." I think in college, these older guys were like, yeah, you want some whiskey on the rocks? And luckily, I had somebody else with me. And we're like, no, we want some coke with it. and, and the older guy is like, "Come on, guys, get some men." Like, and then the bartender helped them out too. It's like, yes, men take it straight. Like they don't need no coke. Me and those guys were both agreeing. And like, I guess we're not men. We'll be fine. We want some coke, please. We couldn't handle it. So the other two gentlemen like took it on the rocks, and we were like, whiskey and coke, please. We cannot handle that straight liquor.
yeah, I remember the first time that because I was, this is when I think we've talked about it before, but that was my Mad Men phase, which is the TV show about advertising in like the early days, and that's all the guys on that show do, is drink alcohol straight, or I should say, neat. And so I was like, no, I'm gonna be like that. I'm gonna be cool and mature. And then I got into like a bad habit where like I would probably go through a thing of whiskey every couple of weeks, and then I would get a new one. And then I'm like, this is a very expensive hobby to be doing. But I got to a point where I could be like, oh yeah, this one's not good. This one's just based off of like the taste after the first couple of sips. But
Uh,
I got the metal ice cubes that aren't actually ice cubes that you could just chill them so they don't dilute the glass. Like I was getting into it, which was my sign to stop.
I think I basically had like a similar phase, but it wasn't Mad Men. It was watching Narcos, or like knockoff of Narcos. No, not the tequila, not actual drugs. Clarified right there.
Yeah, thank you, podcast. I swear.
Because like you said, it seems like there at least every episode there's a couple scenes you want to drink, and like the muscle guys are always like, let's take a shot, let's take a shot. They're like, yes. They're like, I don't know, I don't think they're drinking it. And still like working like the amount of like work they're putting in there, like at least shown in the videos. So I'm like, yeah, this is not good. I want to go to sleep after this shot. I can't function.
Yeah, I only made it through one episode, and then I passed out.
Yeah, and then I'm like, why did I do this? I'm like, what? The one I'm watching, like the Narcos thing. I probably write down like how many scenes are of just taking shots. So like people like, you want to take a shot? Not like that, but like, cheers to this, cheers to that, cheers to the accomplishments, and it's like it's a lot of drinking.
There's a lot of cheersing. There's a lot of oorahs going on.
It actually makes me want to get a bottle of tequila now.
Uh oh. So I feel like because Narcos was a massively popular show, I never saw it. Um, but I know kind of the concept of what it was at. But like that was one of those shows that I think gained popularity super quick. Because that was even before COVID, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah. Narcos, and I think it was a um after Narcos came out, a bunch of shows should like do knockoffs of it. 2015, 3 seasons.
2015. That's way before. And the fact that it was so popular without, I mean, that was popular. Like streaming was big, but I feel like streaming wasn't as big as it is now in 2015. Like I feel like it's taken a whole nother beast on it. So imagine how crazy more popular it could have been.
I want to say it might have been around like what was it? No, or I'm looking up when El Chapo was arrested, and that was like what? Why did it say on 1993? I feel like he was arrested like recently, like a few years back. Ah, he was rearrested on February 22, 2014.
Mm.
On July, he escaped. So yeah, 2015. Because I want to say that might have also helped that whole Narcos scene where like the biggest drug pin was getting arrested in El Chapo, and he was like on the news of like him getting out of max security prisons in Mexico. Of him just like going into tunnels, and like literally they have a footage of him going into the tunnel. It's like, oh,
I mean, connections. I feel like that's the key word for him. Connections.
I think in our federal prison system, they try to make like the least amount of personal contact to him, so he can't bribe anybody. She's like, I got all the money in the world. What do you want? He's like, oh, oh.
I mean, imagine if you had all the money in the world like that. What have we probably talked about this at another point. What's something that you would do if you had? We definitely talked about this during the lottery. But if you had an ungodly amount of money, what would you buy?
For sure, a big house to host parties. Like, because we usually do have family gatherings like that. Like somebody's birthday party, or yeah, it's usually somebody's birthday, and then we gather around. And the houses typically, yeah, it's just like a 2-3 bedroom house, so we usually all gather around there, and so big enough house for like parties and whatnot.
Where would the house be located? Still around here, or
It would have to be Urbana for the parties. It's like family, yeah. And it'd be like family parties because I would not open it up to the public. Because yeah, we also have some family parties that sometimes go out to like the yard or whatnot. And so, um, we had a mariachi band one time, and so people saw that. We were like, "Why didn't I get invited?" And we're like, it's a family get together."
yeah, you're not family. No offense, I like you, but you're not family. You're family, but not family.
I think I went with the line of like, I didn't even know about it until like last minute. I'm just working. I did forget I'm just working. I don't really know anything about parties until like, hey, we're going here, and like, okay.
I'm the exact same way. I joke with her all the time. I'm like, you're basically my executive assistant because you keep track of everything, where we need to be, all these different events. I'm like, I just show up. I have no idea. And so whenever my mom, she's like, "What are you guys doing this weekend?" I'm like weekend May 5th. I'm like, I don't know, nothing. And then Candace will be like, "Sawyer, we've got this, this, and this that weekend." I'm like, "Oh, I've got that weekend. Sorry." I'm just terrible. I'm more of like I live in the moment type of person, which is bad when it comes to planning things. I don't think too far ahead. So
Good thing for Candace.
yeah. Oh yeah. Love her.
What would you buy with all the money in the world?
I think it would be cool to own a sports team. It's like I would try to buy like the Chicago Bears if I could buy the Bears. Then you go to all the Bears games for free because you're an owner. Or maybe I would buy like a Los Angeles team just so I could be in warm weather, but I would buy a sports team. And I don't know how to run a sports team, so I'd probably like bring it down. So maybe I wouldn't do the Bears just so I can't like ruin them. But
Sports teams would be nice.
mm-hmm.
Mark Cuban, got it. Did you see that clip of like Barbara talking about Mark Cuban and how he's like faithful to his wife? And she's like, it's rare to see that with a guy like that rich and powerful. Yeah. And the host that she's in the podcast with is like, well, you're rich and powerful. I was like, how do you do it? And she's like, well, I can't attract young guys. I was like, different ball game. If I could attract young guys, I would not be faithful. Like damn.
At least Barbara's honest.
Yeah, she proposed to all the guys she's married. Like she married. And
That's power. I feel like I would almost feel like I would have to if I was her because you wouldn't want to think that the guy is just in it to be a part of your money. They have to probably sign prenups and all that stuff, but I feel like I would want to in her situation just because she probably has a lot more money than whoever she's dating. But I also don't know what the rich and powerful dating scene is like these days. Ever since I got married, I got out of it. But
yeah, she's like, yeah, pop the question and then give him like a day or two to zimmer down and pop the question again. Like stunned every time. You're like, what? Oh.
I did see a story about Mark Cuban though, about how he decided he wanted to buy the Mavericks. He went to a Mavericks home game. They were like at 60% capacity, and he's a big Mavericks fan. And he goes, "Oh, I could do better than this." And then within like the next couple of months, he had bought the team. Like, that's how quick it went.
You know, he would throw parties, and they would make and like house parties and like cover fees, and make money off of that. Couple grand for like the night. I think more than a couple grand. It's like, oh,
I think it was like he would make like $20,000 or something, like 12,000 or $20,000 on it. He would print off the like little pink party invite slips. He said he would hand it to about 1,000 girls, and then he would hand it to about 100 guys. So there was always more girls than guys. Whenever people showed up, he would give them little tiny champagnes, just so people could feel like, oh, I'm popping champagne. And they would just do it in a cargo warehouse, and so like a very open space, and that's how he made it. And I think it was like $10,000. I think 20,000 was too much, but like, yeah, because I think he charged people like $20 or something. Like not a lot of money just to get in there and have a free booze and all that stuff. But oh, Mark,
all right. Let's do some quick BuzzFeed Would You Rather questions.
let's do this.
Would you rather get up early or stay up late?
I'm an early bird. I would rather get up early just because if I get up late, I still have things I have to do in the mornings that I would just be late for.
Uh, yeah. Get up early. Like if you get up early, you have that moment that kind of to yourself that you could actually plan out, and you could somewhat control the most of the part. Rather like the rest of the day where you just think you can control it, but then things come up. You go, okay.
I feel like if you would have asked me a few years ago, I would have said stay up late. Maybe like 5 years ago, I would have been like, oh, stay up late for sure. But no, I would rather get up early now.
Would you rather walk 50 miles or swim 50 miles?
Oh, I hate swimming. I would rather walk 50 miles if I have to. If I'm forced, gun to my head, have to walk or swim 50 miles, I'd rather just walk it.
Yeah, I don't think I would be able to swim 50 miles. I'm like drowning. Like, help.
How long would it take you to walk 50 miles? How this says it took people 4 to 6 months to walk it. Okay. And I think they're just talking. Like, okay. It would take you about reasonable. You can hike 50 miles in about 20 hours, which makes sense because runners go for like usually what I think like a marathon. People can do it in like 6 hours, something around there. I think that's kind of like a sweet spot. And so that's running. And so if you're going like a third of that speed, just walking.
Would you rather get $1 a day or get $5 a week?
Is this a trick question? I would rather get $1 a day because at the end of the week I would have $7 compared to $5 at the end of the week. What? I guess that's one of those things. It's would you rather have instant gratification, or it's not instant? Would you rather have a slow buildup or a big haul at the end of the week and have it be less?
Like, do you have the patience to actually like save the dollar a day? But then again, like if you don't have the patience to save the dollar a day, then that $5 a week, once that hits, you're gonna spend it.
Uh huh.
I think some companies that's what they like to pay their employees on Monday rather than on Friday. Friday they'll be gone by the weekend. And Monday they actually could pay their bills, and then the rest of the money could be to party. One of the owners here at the restaurant, he like, yeah, I used to pay my guys on a Sunday morning, and then one time they just left. They didn't come back.
We're going to have a good time.
So now I start paying them Monday.
You live and learn. You live and learn.
We had one guy who, um, he just liked to drink. So every time he get paid, he gets straight to the bar. I'm like, what? He's like, what are you gonna do? Like, aren't you gonna save me? He's like, no. Yes. I'm like, what? What? Okay. I don't want to understand that, so we're just gonna move on.
Yep. Yeah. No, thank you. Mm-mm. I'd rather have my priorities where they are.
Oh man. Like, would you rather be able to control water or control fire? Oh, waterbender or firebender? Dun dun dun. All four.
I feel like I'd rather go water. And the reasoning is because I feel like if I can control water, then I can control the people who can control the fire because water can put out the fire. So I'm thinking of it more so defense.
Unless they burn you like the Fire Nation, take control of the entire world.
Well, the Fire Nation also lost in the end, so go Avatar.
Have you seen the second version?
No, what's the Legend of Korra? Yeah, no, I haven't seen it.
I think I've seen like a couple episodes of the second one. Oh my goodness. I want to. I'm gonna have to finish that one. That's the one that like bugs me that I didn't finish it.
That's got good reviews too, doesn't it? That's what I thought. I thought it got really good reviews.
Yeah. Yeah, I would do water. It just reminds you of like the water benders in Avatar and how they had healing powers. That'd be pretty cool.
But so now you're getting burned too. You bashed my water choice by saying I was going to get burned, and then you go water. Well, now you're burned.
I had to make sure you wanted that answer. So I'm gonna tag it. Even though I'm agreeing. Yes, even though I'm agreeing with you. I'm like, are you sure, Sword? Are you sure? Firebenders can burn you. Yes. I'm gonna be a waterbender too.
Okay, what about if there was earth and wind in the equation? If you could choose, if you could be a part of any nation in Avatar, what nation would you be a part of?
Are we including all of them or like those all four or just those two, Earth and Wind? Yeah. Or
All
four.
four. Rank them. I'm going to switch it up. Rank them from the cool, like what one you would rather be to the which one you wouldn't want to be.
I'm gonna go. Uh, shoot. It's so hard. Like,
All of them have pros and cons to it, but what pros outweigh the cons?
um, air first, water second, earth third, fire last. And the reason I chose air first was because air is everywhere, and I guess fire you could usually come at it everywhere. But like, I want to say water, you need water. Earth, you need earth. Um, I guess fire, but and then water second because of the healing power, and then earth third because on like the Legend of Korra, they made it to like some earthbenders got so skilled that they changed like their earth bending to metal bending, and they were able to bend earth like metal. So they're metal benders now. So that'd be kind of cool too. And fire is pretty cool too. Be electrical.
Yeah.
I might have like a disdain towards fire because the Fire Nation attacked everybody.
We've got the exact same ones, except I have earth last and fire third. So I went air, water, fire, earth. And my reason for fire over it was because of the electricity. I thought the electricity aspect was really cool to be able to control that. But yeah, it's kind of tough because like fire is just the mean people, and so it's like, are you want to be a part of the mean group? But there are nice people within there. But and air is first for me because the ball that Aang could fly around on, that was the coolest thing growing up. So I'm like, I want to fly on that. Uh huh. Appa. Yep, yep.
Just like the accessibility. I'm thinking fire. Ah, yeah, I have that. It's this thing of like, why does the Fire Nation attack everybody?
Because they got too greedy. Yeah.
But then if you get skillful enough, electrical.
Mm hmm.
All right. Okay. I don't think we could beat that kind of question. So I'm not even gonna look for it.
That was a really good question. Yeah. Do we want to do it as like the ranking or which one? We'll do which one would you want to be in? I feel like that'll be easier.
Why'd you choose water second?
I chose water second just because I think being able to like control the tides and everything, then you can control because like the moon controls the tides, and so I think being able to control the tides in all of that big body of water, you can attack more if it's like more ships and stuff, which is what the Fire Nation and everybody used to travel. So if you're on an island or something, you control your entire surroundings as a defense mechanism. So I took it from more of like not an attacking perspective, but a defense perspective where you have more I guess, coverage around you if you're located in a good spot.
And Earth is last because
I just thought Earth was lame. I didn't like any of the Earth characters in the series, and so I'm just like, lame. Like what? You got a big rock? Okay, throw it at me. Ooh.
watch the Legend of Korra. The skillful ones somehow came out to like like a bunch of different benders. Like somehow like they branched off of, like metal bending, some other type of bending. Like the metal part bending made me want to like try Earth for sure more. They could change Earth. It's like okay. Question of the day.
Alrighty. Yeah, but you guys let us know if you want to. We'll leave it up to you guys if you want to rank fire, earth, water, air, which nation you would want to be a part of, or if you just want to say I guess that was both of them if you want to rank them, or if you want to just say which one you would want to be a part of. And you can let us know your answers in the comment section below. We gave you our choices, and they're obviously the right choices, but we'd love to hear your guys' opinions. And we can highlight anybody. And if you want to give a little reasoning as to why, that would be awesome too, just to give some background. But let us know in the comment section down below, or if you're listening to us on one of the podcast platforms, you can let us know at talkmentuesday@gmail.com, and we can read through those for next week. Like I mentioned at the beginning of the podcast, if you guys have anything that you think could improve the audio quality, let us know. Starting the theme song at the beginning was a great insight from one of our fellow listeners, so we appreciate that. We're happy to do anything just to increase the audio quality for you all. And if you have any topics that you want us to talk about, let us know too, because we are more than happy to shed our expertise on anything that you guys would like our take on. But we appreciate you guys as always for taking some time out of your week to listen to us, and we look forward to talking with you guys next week. But in the meantime, stay safe, give somebody a hug, and make sure to tell someone you love them. But we'll talk with you guys more next week. Peace.